SAG-AFTRA plays a critical role as an advocate on entertainment and media industry issues, whether working with the AFL-CIO, our sister unions, other organizations, or is the sole voice on behalf of members. The Government Affairs and Public Policy Committee, along with staff, develops and manages strategies to inform and influence public policy at city, state, federal, and international levels.
The SAG-AFTRA Government Affairs and Public Policy, or GAPP Committee, works with the GAPP Department to develop and recommend to the SAG-AFTRA Board legislative and public policy initiatives that serve to protect and expand the rights of SAG-AFTRA members under local, state, and federal laws and regulations consistent with the union's goals. The GAPP Committee and Department pursue the realization of those goals, and in accordance with principles adopted by the SAG-AFTRA Board, joins with other unions and parties with similar interests on public policy matters that further the welfare of our members and the related interests of the industries in which our members work. The GAPP Committee and Department communicate with all locals and local GAPP committees on an ongoing basis about GAPP initiatives, and the Department works with staff locally to ensure that local and state legislative initiatives are both consistent with national policy and appropriately supported by national staff.
The World Intellectual Property Organization, or WIPO, is the UN organization that's in charge of intellectual property issues on the international level. And in 2012, WIPO finally achieved something that had been in progress for almost 20 years, which is the successful conclusion of a treaty for the protection of audiovisual performances, which is now known as the Beijing Treaty. Of course, for the treaty to actually enter into force and take effect, at least 30 countries have to ratify it. So far, we haven't hit that threshold yet, but there's a lot of enthusiasm. Well in excess of 60 countries have signed on to the treaty and therefore have promised they're going to try to ratify it. And of course, SAG-AFTRA is working hard to achieve ratification by the United States government as one of the leading governments in intellectual property issues in the world.
Films, television programs, and sound recordings that are enjoyed by billions of people around the world are made possible by the work of SAG-AFTRA members. America's greatest strength is our creativity and innovative spirit, and those strengths are personified by the members of SAG-AFTRA. Unfortunately, those strengths are under attack from digital theft. When someone illegally downloads a song, a film, or a television show, they aren't just stealing a product. They are also stealing livelihoods, careers, healthcare coverage, and retirement funds. We cannot make a living on free. To combat this, strategic legislative solutions must be found, technological solutions must be found, and alliances must be formed. SAG-AFTRA will continue to be at the forefront in finding those solutions.
The Internet Radio Fairness Act was an attempt by big internet companies to reduce the royalties that are paid to our sound recordings members when their songs are played on internet radio. The act came in last year. We beat it off. We beat it off successfully. We protected the royalties that our members are getting.
Last year, for example, on just the tax credit productions, we had approximately 350 people work on that, earning $4 million approximately in wages. That's not Hollywood. Those are our members in the Pennsylvania area.
Very many states have been passing various different types of legislation, structured in various different ways, but all geared towards one thing: attracting film and television production to their states. All of this was designed to bring work back from overseas. That's what runaway production really means, work that's flowing overseas, out of our jurisdiction, where our members have no protections. Broadcasters have these so-called non-compete clauses in their contracts. What these do is they enjoin a broadcaster from working for any other station in their market for periods of 6 months, 1 year, up to 2 years, if they leave the station that they are currently working for. Whether they are living or deceased, they have the right to control their image. A commercial producer, a manufacturer, anybody who wants to use their image in a commercial or in any other way is not going to be able to just waltz in and say, we want Marilyn Monroe in our commercial, and use that image and not have to pay the estate for it, or anybody else, any living member. They cannot use their image without negotiating for it and compensating for it. And it's another way that we can protect the membership.